What's up, guys? It's Jules. Time for another stitch with me. It is a nice and snowy Sunday morning here in Colorado. It is really nice outside. It's like those tiny little snowflakes, and just a wave of them. So I think the bigger snow is coming here shortly. So it's going to be awesome today. It's going to be a perfect day to stay in and stitch, watch football, and just relax, which is good. Today we've got Apothecary shop, guys. We're working on the roof part of this, and I did a little bit of work yesterday, but I definitely wanted to get some more stitching done before I put this project away for the week. So I thought this might be I haven't done this one for a while, I don't think. I try to spread it out a little bit and do some different things from time to time. So, whoa, I gotta actually look at what I'm doing here. There we go. But that's the plan for today. So, dog's outside barking. Don't think it's our dog. I think that's the dog next door. Sounds a little deeper. But anyway, so hasn't been as productive of a stitchy week as it has been for the last several weeks. Just been tired, kind of a lot of things going on, just busy with a lot of things, not bad things, all good things. And so just been really busy. We're getting ready to head down to Florida to go see my husband's parents and family, and we're gonna get some well-needed rest time and just time to hang around with them and talk, and maybe I'll get some stitching done. We'll see. It's we're looking forward to it, definitely. I just hope we don't miss any snow here. I love my snow. But anyway, so let's see. I did get to work. I did get stitching done on Old World Map 2. I got some done on Rainy Waterloo Place. I got some done on Boba Fett. And like I said, I started this one. I just could not stay awake yesterday afternoon after I got home from work. We ran out and found that one barbecue food truck that we like. And I ate some barbecue and my tummy was full. And I said, yeah, I think I'll sleep for 2 hours from about 3 to 5 on a Saturday, because that's just what I do. And I was still super tired and excited to go to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'm like, yay, let's go to sleep. And so woke up again super tired this morning, but we're doing a good job of staying committed to our cleaning routine, with how we do our how do you say it? Well, last week it was about was it like 2 hours? It was a very much deeper cleaning than normal. When you got the dogs, you kind of have to. Did I not finish? I didn't finish these stitches, did I? Huh, you guys are like, hey, you didn't finish those stitches. But we did a pretty deep clean last weekend. So this weekend, funny how it works that way, wasn't nearly as involved. About a half an hour, and things are back to being as pristine as they can when you have 7 dogs in the house. So that's good. It's a good thing. Oops. I'm definitely getting more excited for this Apothecary shop pop out even more. It's funny, I'm not really struggling with at least not yet, I haven't been struggling with the roof the way that I did when I originally started this piece. I don't know why, I'm not sure why, it didn't, I mean, I wanted to do it, but it seemed hard for some reason, which just seems silly now in retrospect, but it seemed hard then. And then I cut my finger this morning, as you can see, on a knife while I was washing it, because I was in a hurry, being kind of silly. Oh well. Did something to my neck and been doing really well with her. Well, I shouldn't say that. My back was really messed up, and then I went and hung upside down in my inverter that I've had for a while. I have a variety of different accoutrements for my back and neck that keeps me going. And so I hung upside down in that for probably about 10 minutes the other night, and it really, 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 thank goodness, helped, because I've been having a lot of back spasms. And so the back was doing better, and then I don't know if I slept funny, or I probably did. It was probably when I was taking my nap yesterday. I think I had my neck kind of jacked up a little bit, so that wasn't the best thing to do there. But so I'll probably go and hang upside down again for a little bit. Oh man. Doop 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 doo. Boop doop doop doo. Been feeling a bit of an itch to do something new. Now I know I just got the Wonders of the World, but that is going to be a bit tedious and a bit long time to do. Whatever I was trying to say there. I definitely, I think I just need to start on one of these smaller projects that I have. I was contemplating taking the new U.S. Capitol project with me when I go to Florida, because then I only have to have one, one kind of floss. And I do like simplicity when I travel. I don't want to have a ton of different flosses to keep up with. But it's the only trip that we're taking. I'm trying to think. We didn't. I'm trying to think if we took any other trips this. Well, the only thing we did was when we took our honeymoon back in May, and then outside of that, everybody came to us this year. So we are. Let's see. Where am I? Where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4. So. I think we're looking forward to a December with a bit more. Rest, I think, is good. And I don't think next year will be quite as crazy in terms of all the visitations. And there'll be other things that'll be going on next year. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to doing the end of year video for, probably the end of year progress, and looking forward to 2019. That'll be fun. That will be a lot of fun. Doop doop doo, doop doop doo. This one's coming along very nicely with this right now so far, because I just pulled her right out of there. Because I have a lot to do in this one section of this one color. So, oh, Dachshund! I got some nice progress done on Dachshund this week. Oh my gosh, guys, you guys are going to be like, whoa! I went to page 2, and all of a sudden it just opened up like you wouldn't believe, with all this stuff to do. So super excited to show you guys about that. It's on the blog, I believe. Yeah, I should have taken a picture, put it on the blog if you're interested. But a lot of good progress there. A lot of good progress. I don't know, maybe I'll take Dachshund with me too, because I could just take a couple of colors and fill those in, and that would be a lot of good progress on that piece. So, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Boop, 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 boop. Husband is cooking up some ribs for later today. Last week he kind of outdid himself on Sunday. He had this I want to say hankering. I mean, honestly, there's like no other word for it, but hankering for making some quesadillas and doing it like by cutting up all the and then he made salsa, so he was like cutting up all the vegetables and the onions and the peppers and all that stuff, and oh boy was that good. That was so good I fell asleep. So if I eat all that, I usually fall asleep on a Sunday, even though I'm watching football and I'm wanting to watch football. I can't help myself. Go to sleep for about an hour, body digests, wake up energized somewhat. I wonder how many inches of snow we're going to get today. I don't know. It'd be nice if just everything got covered, because right now it's like in the green space behind us, it's sort of like everything's frosted, but it's not covered, except for it looks like the sidewalk, like the path across the green space might be covered, but hard to know for sure. Doobie-doo-doo, boobie-doo, boobie-doo-doo, boobie-doo-doo, boobie-doo-boobie-doo-boobie-doo, boobie-doo-boobie-doo-boobie-doo. We were watching Big Hero 6, if you guys haven't seen that. It's a like an animated, is it Pixar, guys? I don't remember. I don't think it's Pixar. I want to say that the style is more what's that other animation company? I think it's the one that does like How to Train Your Dragon and stuff. I'm not 100% sure. It could be Disney. It very well may be Disney, but I just don't remember off the top of my head. And it's a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it a lot when we first watched it. And woke up from a nap, and the husband was watching it. He said that even though we'd watched it together back when we were first dating, he said he's pretty sure he fell asleep during it, so he actually didn't know how the movie went. And I was like, that's not a surprise. As much as I fall asleep watching football, he falls asleep watching movies, even movies that he really wants to watch. All right, let me highlight here for a sec, because I got lots to highlight. Doop-doop-doo, doop-doop-doo. But anyway, there's this kid in the movie who's just a total goofball, and he's always like jumping up and down and super excited about everything, and he like bounces along and like makes up songs and hums and does all these things, and it was funny because it kind of reminded me of me, as goofballish as I can be sometimes, and so I thought that was kind of funny. It was funny to me. All right, I'm gonna do. Actually, let me highlight a little bit more because I did not keep up with the highlighting. Okay. Switch colors here for a minute. Mini. Woof, 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 woof. Coco's like, I need some cat food to eat. Take me upstairs to eat some cat food. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo. There we go. Ah, grab it. Grab it. So we'll have a new addition to the household when we get back from our trip. We are going to be acquiring a gecko. I want to say golden gecko. I know what it is, but I've not been able to remember it since I was first told. His name is Carter. He's at least a couple of years old, and he is going to come live with us because he needs a more permanent home, and I am more than happy to give that to him. I'm excited. Never kept a reptile, ever. And he's going to come with all the stuff that he's been living with, so he's not going to be wanting for anything. And I'm just super excited to have him come and hang out and learn about him and see, see what we can do for him. So Supposedly they live for at least 15, 20 years, so that'll be awesome. He can live as long as my Groot, my axolotl. Is that going to get in there? Okay, I'll have to bring this down here. Boop, boop, doo. There we go. So that'll be fun. We were toying with the idea of building him a much larger enclosure, but it was like, all right, we only have so much space, and let's not, go overboard more than I probably already will, because gosh knows I'll probably, who knows, maybe I'll maybe I'll get him a second enclosure attached to the first, or maybe just a bigger one. I don't know. I always like to give these guys plenty of space. Oh, that reminds me, that's the other thing that I want to do when I get back, is get another betta for the snail tank. And been meaning to do that, go rescue a betta from his tiny little enclosure. Give him some fun with some live plants and some snail friends. So much to do. Well, that's a grade A snag right there, friends. Boom. Oh yeah, and I gotta do my question and answer video either tonight or tomorrow. It'd be great if I could do it tonight, but it's harder to do when the husband is home. Maybe I can banish him for half an hour or so. Banish, you are banished. Or he can just sit next to me and just have his headphones on, and so he doesn't even know what's going on. Started watching this, since we knew we were going to get this gecko, we started watching some reptilian videos and gecko care and whatnot. And I ended up on this guy that does snakes. And I'm normally like, I'm very squishy about snakes. I don't like them. I don't understand them. And that's probably why I don't like them. You don't like what you don't understand. In fact, it scares you. Anybody recognize that line? That is like my favorite line from Beauty and the Beast, the animated song, or the animated thing. It's towards the end when the mob is forming to go after the beast. Grab your sword and your shovel, something like that. But yeah, I just, when I heard that, I'm just like, whoa, like that is, I think I was like 18 or 20 or something at the time when I saw that movie, and that line made a big impression on me, obviously, because I still remember it and to this day. But it's just yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? We don't like what we don't understand. Sometimes that's how it is if it scares us. But I've been, and I blame my husband, because my husband is like such an enabler. But I've, like, so many things interest me. So many things are like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to learn about this. And there's only so much time in the day. So it's a blast. It's a blast when and it's a great time to be like that, because information is just is everywhere, and it's so easy to learn about anything. There's no reason for most people to not understand or know about something if they actually want to do so. That's the problem. Not a lot of people are curious. I like to say that there's two kinds of people in the world. The kind of people that have a question and think of a question and they go find the answer themselves, and then the kind of people that have a question and they just ask other people, and they don't actually do any effort to kind of find the answer themselves. And that's fine. There's good things about both kind of people, but that cut's really bothering me. Well, not really bothering me. I should just super glue the thing and be done with it. Except the super gluing does kind of hurt. I'm feeling like a wuss. I'm feeling like I was today. Whoops. Although I feel like the cross-stitching's warming me up a bit now. I was cranky pants when I woke up. Well, partly cranky pants because the cat, my husband always gets up super early. And when he's normally getting up like super early, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, kind of early. And if he's going to work, then usually by 5:15 or so, he'll feed the cat. But if he's not going to work and he's home, then cat doesn't get fed until later. So said cat, Mercury, was not pleased with the fact that he was going to have to wait for his food. And by about 6:30, he had had enough. So he had decided that I was the chosen one and needed to feed him. So he proceeded to start walking all over me and purring very loudly and doing everything he could to get me up. It's kind of funny. He has come such a long way in this house. My husband rescued him as an adult several years ago. He was just I think he just kind of had it with people, and he wasn't particularly trusting, and he was hard to get to know. And sometimes those are your favorite type of projects. My husband was like, nobody wants, I'll take them, and worked with him years and years to like come up with some things that he could do to help Mercury trust him and whatnot, and it came a long way. But it still even took quite a bit for like when we started dating and I started going over all the time. It took some doing to get him to trust me, or I should say for me to trust him, because I had not had a cat in a very long time, and I looked at Merc as a cat with attitude in a sense, and I didn't really give him the same level of patience and understanding as I would a dog, because I'm more of a dog person. So we just took our time getting to know each other a bit, and so it's paid off in spades, and he and I are a lot closer now, and I just love the little guy. He's gone through, and I don't want to say gone through a lot, because I don't know what he's gone through, but he's definitely come around and become a very beloved member of the family. I mean, the cat, for crying out loud, has the whole top floor of the house to himself, so. Except when Coco comes up to invade. I need cat food, says Coco. And Merc just lays a trap for him. Says, yeah, sure, go on in there. Take a look for yourself. And then when he's at the food bowl, sometimes Mercury come up behind him and scare the bejesus out of her. And it's kind of funny. Watching the 15, 16-year-old dachshund race across the room and then turn around and go right back and see, well, I don't know, is there food there? Let me go look. There we go. Boy, it's coming along, coming along, coming along. There we go. Get back in there. The timing belt had slipped. It was a little loose, and it had. Hold on a second. I gotta look, see what I'm doing here. Oh, I was in the right spot. Okay. But he was like, well, the belt's a little loose, and on the timing belt, there is, I can't explain everything because I still can't really tell you 100% like how a car works, or how an internal combustion engine works, but it was basically like just the timing of everything was off so that it wouldn't run smoothly and the engine wouldn't fire and whatnot. And so he was you know, he showed kind of what to look for and then how to fix it, and it didn't take him very long. And then the car started up. I think he ended up selling it for a couple $1,000s or something like that, and made a little money off of it. So that was good for him. I would love to known what the neighbors said about that. But anyway, so the Honda guy with the Honda repair thing, he had a similar issue. And it was funny because when he took like whatever it was, the cover off to show the timing belt, I was like, well, the timing belt's not loose. But as he kind of moved the rotors, you could see that it was out of alignment. And I was like, oh, well, that's the issue. And, and so it was just funny because it was like I wouldn't have known anything about it. And then I'm watching, you know, one video, and it's cluing me in about another video. Anyway, I was like, that's cool. I like knowing why certain things are so important. And I don't know. I'm just a geek. I'm just a geek. Alrighty. Sure. Beeps. Beeps. Boop. Betty boop. Betty boop. Did I get... Oh, and then I gotta do that one. There we go. Alright, guys. So, I think we're pretty much gonna be done with this. Pretty sure I'm gonna be done with this. For today. So, between last night and today... got a lot more done. I think that last week it was just there was some filled in up here, but then, you know, all this got sort of filled in as time went by here. So, yeah, I think that's going to be done. I want to go and start uploading this, and I got some other things I got to get to before football starts. So, I will see you guys. Well, I'll probably do that question and answer video, release that Monday or Tuesday, and then on the weekly update, I'll see you guys. So, it is still snowing like crazy. I love it. And we will see you guys in a few days. Well, see you guys very soon. I hope you got a lot of stitching done, hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate that. And I'll talk to you real soon. Take care. Stretch. Stretchy time. Oh. Oh, anyway, so the snake guy I was watching, so he's like overly enthusiastic. Like, I don't know how much of it is like real for the blog and how much of it is his true crazy nature, but he is just kind of crazy for snakes. And so, and that's cool because somebody's got to be, right? And I was watching this one video where he had this big, huge python. I don't remember what kind of python, but it was like, I think like 20 feet long and like 200 pounds or something. And it had escaped from its little container. Not little, but little for the snake. It's one of those like breeding and holding facilities where a lot of snakes have like just sort of like a drawer that they pull out, and they have like they don't have a ton of space to move around and whatnot. But the guy then built a... Oh, anyway, let me finish telling you this story. So he had here we go. So anyway, so they had been trying to clean the cage or the drawer or whatever, and the snake was like really pissed off. I mean, I'd be pissed off too if I had that small of a space to live in. And I guess they just didn't fully latch it, and somehow the snake sensed it and was able to get out. So the bad news is like it's rare for the snake to get out, so they're gonna have to try and get this 20-foot, 200-pound snake back in there. The good news is that a snake that large can't really hide, and so. Although it probably thinks it does, you know, it's one of those things where like the front half of its body is like hidden, but the back half is sitting out, and it's like, aha, nobody can see me. And it's just, that's like Doogie, and so that's exactly what Doogie does to hide. But anyway, so let me come over here and do this real quick. So they were able to track it down, and there was like 3 of them that went to try and get the snake back in. The snake wasn't having it, you know. She was striking, and she was just mad, and she wanted to be left alone. And but they eventually got her back in, and she was fine. But then the good news was, because I was like, man, I mean, I have an issue with seeing animals in really small spaces that, you know, they don't have a good quality of life. And so they're building actually like some sort of reptile zoo in a sense. And so they're building all these different enclosures themselves and making them look, you know, like natural environments and whatnot. And so they actually built this nice area. It looks like it's about, I'm not sure, maybe about 10 feet by 10 feet with like a little waterfall and a little, like a smaller water dish in a sense, but it's actually quite large. It's large enough for the snake to get in it and for most of it to curl up in it and to soak itself in water, which it needs to do when it's shedding its skin. And so they put her in there, and so she's a lot happier now, which makes me happy. Believe it or not, I'm like, really? I'm concerned about a snake's welfare? I guess I am. That's kind of funny. Kind of funny. Boop doop doo. Doobity doobity doo. Doobity 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 doo. So I'm kind of jumping around on this Apothecary shop because there's only about a half a dozen different colors, and the font is big enough on this project that I can easily see what I need to do, what I haven't done, so it's a little easier for me to jump ahead, and it certainly is faster for me to jump ahead. So making progress. Alright, time to highlight. I was trying to think of who else I started watching on I almost said FaceTube, on YouTube this week. I started following a few people. And then I unfollowed a few people just because of, not FlossTube stuff, but just more along the lines of just people I followed and then like, oh yeah, I don't like their videos. Usually it was some other kind of, I'm sorry guys, I didn't mean to yawn at you. But that's how my day's going right now. Although I think it's only like maybe about 8:30, which is great. Making good progress. Okay, wait, I gotta see what color this is. Or, gotta see what symbol this is. Let's say that. Okay. 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 I told you guys about the guy building or rebuilding the wooden boat out on the west coast. It's a wooden boat, and he's a boat builder or ship builder. I guess you'd call it a ship builder. And but it's wood, and he's been, you know, it's like over 100 years old, and it has a lot of history in it, and it was something that he was approached about. Said, hey, would you know, what do you think? You think you'd like to do this? And so the cool thing is he started a YouTube channel because of it, and he's been showing his like every step he's been taking. And a lot of the beginning part of the boat was just literally deconstructing it and pulling out everything that was rotted and that wasn't good. And now that he's done that, now he's at a point where he's going to start, you know, building it back up. And it's going to be just awesome. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I got to see first where I'm at with this. This? No, not that. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, so I actually got that done. I just didn't highlight it. Oh, my goodness. Oh my goodness. But, oh, so, did I tell you guys about, I don't think I told you guys about this before because I want to say that I just recently saw the video. Okay, I pulled the end through here. Can I pull it back and still make this work? But the, I think I told you last week about, there we go. Nope, 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 nope. Didn't get it, it's right here. There we go. Now that works, all right. I've told you guys about the lionfish, the lionfish epidemic that's going on in Florida and all along the East Coast, and how bad that is for the local fisheries and the local fish population, period. But I did not know there were other issues with other things. There's Burmese pythons. I don't know if I remember this correctly, if there are hundreds or thousands. I can't remember, but let's just say that there are a ton of them living in the Everglades and also like just all over Florida, and they're moving north because as climate change continues and these as there are areas that are staying warmer longer, the snakes have been able to migrate further north. And it's a concern because these guys they can become huge and like they can kill people basically, but they can certainly kill children easily, small pets, just all kinds of things. And so they are doing roundups the same way that, well, not quite the same way, but they have bounties out on them. And I think you get paid, I'm not sure if it's by the pound or by the snake, but there are people that, go out at night and look for these things and catch them and whatnot. So the reporter was going out with this woman. I think they said there's like 150 in this group that are like authorized to go and hunt and kill these pythons. So it's just crazy. I mean, and they talked about how like all they have to do is like if they live a couple years and they can hide for a couple years, then they start laying eggs, and they can just lay eggs like have so many babies like in a relatively short period of time. So they're just multiplied like crazy. And there's not a natural predator for them. I mean, outside of maybe crocodiles. Is it crocodiles or alligators in the Everglades? I always forget. I want to say crocodiles, but I'm probably wrong. But anyway, so yeah, so there's not, so the pythons are killing off other animals in the Everglades, and so it's just, when you have an invasive species that's not supposed to be there and gets introduced, it just wipes out the local environment, local ecology. But then the other one that they were talking about was the Asian carp along the Mississippi River, especially down south, where there are a lot of fisheries and whatnot that have gone out of business because of the Asian carp. So let's go back for a second. So the Burmese python, the reason why that let's put that last stitch in. The reason why that has gone crazy is because of a lot of, there's a lot of people in Florida that keep exotic pets. And I think they said it was after Hurricane Andrew. So was that 1990s, early 1990s maybe? And they said that the flooding and the destruction that happened, that there were some of them that got loose. And that's where they think it got started, because they hadn't really been seeing them in the wild before then. So so that's what they were thinking. So then the Asian carp, I think, is the same thing, where somebody must have brought it in, and then eventually somebody decided they didn't want the fish anymore, and so they, instead of properly disposing of them, they went and dumped them in the water in the Mississippi. And they grow to be quite large. I mean, they can be 20 plus pound fish easy. That's what we were seeing. But the crazy thing is that they are so strong because they have such a very, very bony structure that when they are startled, they leap out of the water. And they don't have to necessarily leap straight up. They can leap at an angle. And people have gotten pretty badly hurt driving boats, up and down the river and scaring these things, and they jump out and smack them. But the thing is that they multiply like mad, and they're much faster multipliers than most of the other fish that are around. So they've crowded. They're overcrowding, and so they have, in competing for resources, they're winning because there's just so many of them, and they're moving up through the Mississippi River basically, and wherever they go, they're crowding out the local fish source. So it's bad because if you were if you want catfish or this or that, you may have a hard time catching catfish now. It may be like when you trawl, you're just picking up mostly carp, and because they're so bony, they're really hard to prepare in terms of for eating. And so they haven't really caught on yet as a, hey, try some Asian carp, as fancy food, and create a market for it. They're going to need to come up with a better way to debone or get the meat off of these guys. And apparently they have a very unique taste. And it's not a bad taste, it's just a unique taste. So it's even gone so far that up at the mouth of, or is it the mouth? No, it's not the mouth. At the top of the Mississippi River, so the northern end of where the Mississippi River is, and I think it goes all the way up and it connects to the Great Lakes, and they actually have special gates or special fences that are there to try and prevent those carp from getting into the Great Lakes, because they said if it gets in the Great Lakes, then a multi-billion-dollar fishing industry will go under, because there very quickly won't be anything to fish for. So it's just crazy, dudes. I did not know that. I love learning about stuff like that. It's so fascinating. Oh, and then, okay, so let me just confess something to you guys. And this is the real reason why I haven't gotten a ton of stitching done this week, or as much as I normally would, I should say. So, remember when I told you guys back, I don't know, like maybe a year ago or whatever, there was this one video game that I was playing that I was like, oh man, this is great. And it was like, I think I played it on the PlayStation, and then I played it on my computer. And it's just a simple little game called Adventure Capitalist, and it's just a simple game on the phone. But I don't ever play games on my phone. Sadly, I got totally swept into this one because I've played it before and I've loved it before, and I only got so far along with it, and then I was like, oh, I'll do something else kind of thing. And now I started playing it on, I think it was Friday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, nothing is getting done now because I'm just playing the game. I'm sitting here staring at my phone. So it's going to take a lot for me today to not work on it's going to take a lot for me to stitch and not be playing on my phone. So I'll probably have to put my phone upstairs or something today, which makes it hard because I like to talk with my brother, and I always text during football games and stuff. So I'll probably need to develop some discipline. Develop some discipline. But so that's that. That's what's going on in that neck of the woods. But yeah, I was like, oh, sucked in again. Darn game. There we go. Here we come to save the day. It's awful quiet downstairs. Dogs are usually good when it's just one of us, like, with them. When it's both of us, they're usually not very well behaved for whatever reason. They're more liable to start barking, acting up, being loud. But super excited about the gecko coming. That is gonna be awesome. Yep, that's right. Still haven't found that piece of paper with the sampler stuff on it for the finishing of E Pluribus Unum. I might take a little bit of time today to look for that. That would be good if I did. Finish that piece, put it aside, start working on another. That would be cool. Ah! Oh, I was watching this guy last week. I guess he works on a lot of like lawnmowers and I don't know, different smaller pieces of equipment like that. And he had, what was the word? He had picked up this riding lawnmower, one of those like long tractors, and it was a Honda. And he was going through it and trying to, you know, the guy got it from said, well, it doesn't work, and you know, I'm not really sure. It just, you know, one day I just stopped starting up, and then, you know, it's not been good since, all these things. And so as the guy was working through the problem and whatnot, and he opened up like where the timing belt was and whatnot. It's funny because I've watched this one video a couple times from this car repair guy called Chris Fix. And I really like Chris Fix because I'm like, you know what? Part of me wants to, like, I've watched so many videos and I've learned so much from the guy that I feel like I want to at some point, like, buy out an old junker car and fix it up myself. I don't know why. It's just for the challenge, you know, could I do it kind of thing. And because he just teaches you how to do so many things. And he had so the Chris Fix guy had this, again, it was a Honda, and it was his neighbor's car that the car just literally had stopped running one day while it was idling at a stoplight. And the mechanic took a look at it, and you know, the easy things that it could have done, it didn't, you know, nothing worked, and it was going to cost a lot more money to start getting into it and really digging in and taking the engine apart and saying, so the guy's like, I'm not gonna worry about that, just go get a new car. But he didn't do anything with the old car, and I think he was, I don't know why, but he had the car for so many months, and then finally he was like, well, dude, my neighbor does all this, you know, is always fixing cars. I wonder if he could fix this car when the mechanic with the computers and all that, like, they couldn't figure out what was going on. So he gave him the car and just said, you know, do with it what you wish and whatnot. And in 45 minutes, Chris Fix figured it out and fixed the car. And in the end, there was like, you know, he went through like, okay, so there's like 5 things you need in order to be able to start a car. And it was like pressure, fuel, electricity, timing, and something, I don't remember. But in the end, it was a timing belt. And what it was that it was, oh, I did the wrong thing.